Hey everyone, this is Brian with Oceancarestore.com, online retailer of the world's best cleaners and sealers, Oceancare Products. Now, in my many years as a professional tile installer, I did a huge number of clean and seal jobs. I've used a wide variety of sealers, and I'm going to share with you today, hands down, the easiest to use and best enhancing sealer I have ever put my hands on, and that's Oceancare Products High Performance Enhancing Sealer. So before we get into the nitty-gritty of the how to use this product, I want to give you a little bit of background on sealers in general and the types that are available and why you might want to pick one over another. So if you go to oceancarestore.com, our website, you'll notice that Oceancare Products likes to keep things pretty simple. We really only offer two types of sealers. There's a penetrating sealer with the red label and then the enhancing sealer with the orange label. Now, while there are some nuances to the way these get applied and how they're used, their differences really come down to one primary thing, and that is the high performance penetrating sealer is designed to be a natural look, no sheen, no change in color sealer. So the way it looks before you seal it is the way it looks after it's sealed, and it's just protected against moisture penetration and staining. Now, while the high performance enhancing sealer, as the name suggests, is a color enhancer, it's designed to darken, enrich, and deepen these colors, and it really does look really beautiful on some stones. Now, keep in mind that not all stones enhance the same. The general rule of thumb is that darker, more porous stones will have a greater color shift when the color enhancer is used on them versus lighter, denser stones. So at one end of the spectrum, you might have a very light colored granite that's polished. And at the other end of the spectrum, you have a very dark colored slate that's very porous. That dense, light colored granite is not going to color enhance. It's not going to take enough enhancer to change the color, whereas that darker, more porous material, you're going to have a very dramatic color shift from before it's sealed to after it's sealed. So something just to keep in mind when you're making selections. Now, let's get to the how-to on this. It's really simple. I think you'll be surprised. Before we get started, I should probably mention that this is a relatively new installation. It's only been installed for a few weeks, so we only had to give it a light sweeping before we got started. But if this were an older installation, I would have first given it a deep cleaning using Oceancare Products Intensive Stone Cleaner, let it completely dry, and then moved on to the sealing process. The tools I'll be using this are very basic. I have a clean and dry fine bristle push broom, a standard garden pump sprayer, and a good sized pile of rags. You need a lot of rags, so don't skimp on the rags. This sealer is incredibly easy to apply, and there are a few options for application method. But my go-to is to apply a nice even coat with the garden sprayer, and then use the push broom to work the sealer into the surface and make sure everything is really well covered. If you want, you can also use a clean paintbrush if you really want to get into the corners and make sure everything is really well detailed. That works as well. After letting the stone absorb the sealer for about 3 to 5 minutes, remove any excess unabsorbed sealer by buffing the stone with a clean dry rag. The goal here is to remove any of that unabsorbed sealer before it has a chance to dry on the surface, which is why it's important to only apply the sealer to small, manageable areas, especially in warm weather. But I have to say, I was doing this job on a very warm Southern California afternoon, and it was very dry and breezy, which you can probably see in the video. But as you can also see, I was still able to apply a fair amount of material even in direct sunlight. If I were using a different enhancing sealer based on my experience, I think this would have been a sticky, gooey nightmare within a few minutes, and there was no way I could have applied this much at one time. This sealer is extremely forgiving, which is why I'm so confident recommending it, even to the inexperienced DIYer. So the reason I mentioned having plenty of rags earlier was because as you're going through this process, each rag will eventually become saturated and no longer absorb sealer. It just starts pushing it around. So having that nice big fat pile of rags makes it easy to just toss the dirty one aside, grab a clean one, and keep going. At this point, it's pretty much lather, rinse, repeat. Keep applying sealer, keep spreading it around, keep buffing it off until the entire area is covered. Apply a second coat after about 20 minutes. It'll be ready for light traffic in a couple hours. Keep it completely dry for 24 hours. And after 48 hours, it'll be completely cured. And that's it. You're done. So in addition to being incredibly easy to use, this sealer is also very UV stable. I hear from installers all the time, they don't like to use enhancers outdoors because they fade within 6 months or a year. Well, I can tell you this product was developed in the desert Southwest with UV in mind, and we've seen color enhancement last 3 to 5 years, even in places like Phoenix and Palm Springs in direct sunlight with incredibly intense sun. This stuff is very UV stable and very durable. Well, that's it, guys. There you go. It was pretty simple, and I think, as you can see, we had a really nice result on this slate patio. Thanks again for watching all the way to the end of the video, and as a special thank you, we've created a discount code SEALER10, all caps, no spaces. I'll put it on the screen so you can see it. That'll get you 10% off any sealer at oceancarestore.com, and as always, free ground shipping within the contiguous United States. Thanks again for watching, and always remember, keep it clean.
What's up, y'all? Blah, 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 blah. Thanks, guys. Like, comment, subscribe.